Fourth period is over. I wonder if I should visit Ciel-senpai in the tea ceremony room, or just eat lunch alone. Either way, I need to go buy some food from the school store first. She outside. On my way to the store, I catch a glimpse of Senpai crossing the courtyard. She's greeting all the students she passes on the way, but she's still making a beeline for the school gates. What's she up to exactly? Leaving school at this time of day? Suspicious. Senpai loves the school store too much. Well, she loves a certain type of bread too much to bother leaving school for lunch. Could she be going to investigate the vampire nest she mentioned in the infirmary? If she is, I can't let her do it alone. I've also got a couple things I'd like to clear up with her.
arcueid との約束もあるし、吸血鬼のねぐらを事前に見つけられるなら、あいつだって喜ぶだろう。
She puts on a brave face, but she's still recuperating too. It'd reflect poorly on me if I don't sit up and produce some results on my own. Alright, time to follow Senpai. I don't think she'll flat out reject my help if I explain myself properly. Okay. Didn't even have to make a decision for that one. I rushed out through the school gates. Senpai was walking across the courtyard at a pretty average pace, but even though I sprinted after her at top speed, there's still a fair bit of distance between us. Senpai is... over there. She is headed down the road toward the station. That silhouette couldn't be anyone else. いや、間違いはないんだけど。But, is it just me, or is she walking insanely fast? She nonchalantly ducks into an inconspicuous side street. If I don't hurry up, I'd lose her. After running non-stop for a while, I paused for a second to catch my breath. I managed to keep up with her somehow, but then lost sight of her the moment we arrived at the plaza south of the station. It's just before 1 o'clock. This is the business district, so there isn't as much pedestrian traffic as there is on the north side of the station. There's nobody here but the odd gaggle of office workers headed back from lunch. 結局、駅まで来たけど。Placing a hand on my chest to calm my racing heart, I take another look at my surroundings. The south side of the station offers a pretty clear view, unlike the north side, which tends to be clogged with traffic. It was a mistake to think that I'd be able to stay on her trail, even with the bit of distance between us. Senpai didn't notice me. Or rather, I didn't get close enough to call out to her. I don't think she would have hidden somewhere in order to evade me, which means... 急ぎすぎて、途中で追い越しちゃったかな。
こういう場合は追い越しちゃったではなく、待ち伏せされちゃったと言うんですよ、遠野くん。先輩！いつの間にこんな近くに！さっきまであんなに離れてましたよね。あんなにとは大げさかつ曖昧ですね。距離にして19メートル弱、ベースボールでいうところのピッチャーからキャッチャーまで離れていたと正しく言ってほしいところです。
Okay. Oh, there goes the happy music. Crap, her expression and banter makes it seem like she's playing along, but her eyes are dead serious. It's not surprising, she's just caught me tailing her. And that's on top of this morning's incident in the infirmary. Anyone would be angry after all that. But it's not like I came chasing after her just for fun. I need to seize this moment to confidently strike back.
こんにちは、先輩。こんな時間に外で会うなんて奇遇だね。
ええ、奇遇ですね。私はこれから電車に乗って隣町まで行くんですが、遠野くんは？早退して帰宅ですか？
いえ、帰るのは後です。俺も先輩と同じ電車に乗りますから。
ほうほう。5次元目はボイコットですか？
I resist the urge to point out that she's just as guilty of cutting class as I am. I'm not about to let Senpai wrest control of the conversation from me now.
サボります。 今は授業より先輩がどこに行こうとしているのかが知りたいです。
そうですか。
Didn't I tell you already?
保健室で私が言ったことを覚えていますか？
Yeah. You gotta stand on business, Shiki. I swallow nervously. I need to choose my next words carefully. If I don't, Senpai will think I'm a nuisance and brush me aside. If I really mess up, I might even end up back in the infirmary.
これが最後です。私の行き先はあなたの想像通り、吸血鬼の調査です。危険ばかりで楽しいことなんてありません。おとなしく学校に戻って。
嫌です、そんなの。俺、吸血鬼に関わるなとは言われたけど、先輩に関わるなとは言われてませんから。
That's an interesting way of describing that. I stand my ground and stare right back at Senpai. I blurted out those words without thinking them through, but saying them has helped me reaffirm my own feelings. I'm much more worried about Ciel Senpai than I am about the problem posed by any vampires. I guess I just can't stand the thought of her going to investigate them all on her own.
私に関わるということは、吸血鬼に関わるということです。今のは詭弁に過ぎません。
それはずるい。学校の先輩であるシエル先輩と教会のシエル先輩は別枠でしょ。そうじゃなかったら先輩は俺の教室に来てないでしょ。だって教室に吸血鬼はいないんだし。
それはそうですが、
俺は学校の先輩の手伝いがしたいだけです。下心で動いているんです。なのにそれが吸血鬼退治なんて話になってるんで、ほんと迷惑してるだけです。先輩がもっと普通の悩みとか持っていてくれたらこんな苦労はしていません。
I put how I really feel right now into words. I know full well that I'm getting desperate, but if I don't make a stand, Senpai will definitely try and go it alone. I refuse to let her send me back to the infirmary. I'm staying with Senpai, come hell or high water.
確かに学校の私と代行者の私は違う立場と考えるべきでしたね。一緒にしてしまったら明日から学校には行けなくなります。まったく、これだから遠野くんは怖いです。窮地になると急所ついてくるんですから。
Like in a fighting game, right? Senpai lets out an exasperated sigh of resignation. So, in other words, this means...
一緒に行っていいってことですか、先輩。
はい、遠野くんに見つかってしまった私の落ち度ということで、今日だけは特別です。ついてくるだけなら多めに見ます。無鉄砲な後輩に吸血鬼のねぐらがどんなものか知ってもらうのもマイナスではありませんし。
先輩。
I don't know if it's because my feelings got through to her or not, but Senpai is once again smiling like she usually does. Yeah, she really isn't herself without her smile.
ただし、その前に反省してもらわなければいけません。あなたがどれほど度しがたい失敗をしたのか分かっていますか？
失敗ですか？
Does she mean last night's run-in with arcueid? If she brings that up, I don't have a good way to explain myself.
先ほどの尾行、あれはひどいです。足音も気配もダダ漏れで見つけてくださいと言っているようなものでした。私だったから良かったものの、ノエル先生や死者相手にあんなことをしたら翌朝には路地裏で目を覚ますことになりますから、今後は注意するように。
Sure. I got scolded for my sloppy shadowing. It seems that's actually the main reason she's mad at me. She'd apparently planned on just giving me the slip earlier, but my attempt at tailing her was so careless that she couldn't resist calling me out on it. It's probably a bit late at this point to protest that I wasn't actually trying to tail her in secret.
でもそうですね。次からは善処します。
I answer Senpai with a weary smile on my face. She may be dauntingly severe in some ways, but Ciel senpai really is a caring person at heart. Senpai and I board the train together and travel around 2 stops. At Kushitsuka Station, we catch a bus and ride it for 20 minutes. From the nearest bus stop, it's another 20 minutes on foot to our destination. Deep in the heart of this industrial area, far removed from the residential district, lies the quietly decomposing husk of a building.
Senpai, ここは?
使徒のねぐらですよ。いえ、でしたと言うべきですね。以前に処理した使徒から手に入れた情報でしたが、完全に放棄されているようです。
An abandoned dwelling. In other words, a miss. To be fair, this seems like the sort of place that even a wild dog wouldn't want to live in, let alone a dead apostle. It's nothing more than a forgotten ruin that happens to be near the city. It must have been a pretty important hospital before it was abandoned. Even from my vantage point by the main gate, I can take a pretty good guess as to how sprawling it is inside. Grass is slowly encroaching on the buckling asphalt. Various parts of the ward visible in the distance appear to have collapsed. I wonder if it was a fire that originally put this place out of commission. Even if it was, there's far too stark a contrast between the more run-down parts of it and the areas that were less affected.
念のため、中に入って汚染状況を確認します。
Whenever she says something like this, Senpai doesn't ask whether or not I'm coming with her. It's probably her way of making it clear that she's not forcing me to do any of this. It's all something I've selfishly decided to do on my own. I answer with a simple nod and follow after her. Trampling the weeds underfoot, we enter the grounds of the dilapidated hospital. The sky looks so high out here, with no tall buildings crowding around to block the view. There's nothing but vast blue skies stretching out in all directions. Its spotless brilliance is enough to hurt my eyes.
吸血鬼の汚れは微弱に残っていますが、今は何の害もありませんね。この規模の病院ですから、廃墟になる前は大きな拠点だったとは思いますが。
あの地下墓地みたいなですか？
ええ、病院は使徒にとって利用しやすく、また価値のある施設です。個人資産によるものならなおさらですね。
We enter the abandoned hospital. Ciel senpai carefully inspects each and every room. It's perfectly clear, both to me and senpai, there's nothing to be found here anymore. Even so, she is meticulously combing the place to ensure that there's nothing unusual lying around. It strikes a stark contrast to arcueid's cavalier attitude.
先輩、ちょっと話をしていいですか？
もう、いいですよ。それぐらいは覚悟していましたから。邪魔をしない程度なら、どうぞ。
じゃあ遠慮なく。吸血鬼は2種類いて、先輩たちがやっつけてるのは使徒の方ですよね。先輩たちが追っていた使徒、この町に居ついた使徒はどんなやつだったんですか？
詳しくは話せませんが、典型的な使徒ですよ。少しずつ町に浸透していき、勢力を伸ばしていくタイプです。グローブ・アルハンゲリほど直接的な脅威ではありません。
I see. Like I thought, Senpai's original objective wasn't flawed after all. He was just some outsider that happened to show up. She actually came here chasing after a vampire who has been nesting here for many years now, the same one arcueid is after.
そうですか。そいつの名前は？
Roa? A pause. Finishing her fruitless search of yet another room, Senpai lets out a sigh.
ロア。
Yep.
ミハイル・ロア・バルダムよ。人間だった頃は 教会の司祭だったと聞いています。
She speaks the name of her enemy. Roa is the same name that Arcueid had mentioned. She said that he's a reincarnating vampire, among other things. What exactly that means, I'm not entirely sure. Ciel Senpai doesn't say any more on the topic. We continue to explore the abandoned hospital. Having examined every corner of the first and second floors, Senpai heads toward the third floor. As she does,
例えばの話ですけど。
Ciel Senpai starts talking to me, though it sounds like she's talking to herself.
例えばの話ですけど。ある日、自分が突然ホラー映画の主役になっていて、何の説明もなく悪役だと知らされて、開始1分から散々暴れて、登場人物たちをみんな殺してしまったとします。1時間半、もうノンストップで。殺害人数は4桁を軽くオーバーです。
この状況でホラー映画の話とか、もどかしっこはなしですよ、先輩。
例え話ですから、最後まで聞いてください。遠野くんはたまたま気まぐれで映画館によってその映画を見たとします。誰かが主役のそのホラー映画を見終わってふと横の席を見ると、そこには悪役だった誰かが座っていました。映画のエンドロールから抜け出してきたばかりの血まみれの誰かが。彼は言います。はじめまして誰かさん、映画の世界からやってきたものです。ああ、でも安心して、怖がらないで。私は台本通りに殺人鬼を演じただけ。それがまさか終わった後に映画から追い出されるとは思ってもいなかった。あなたは彼をどう思いますか？脚本通りなら仕方がないと歓迎するか、フィクションであろうと悪役は悪役だと糾弾するか、それとも映画の中に戻れと非難するか。この場合、どれが人間として正しいのでしょう。
I can't come up with an immediate answer. Her hypothetical is incredibly outlandish, and yet there's something strangely chilling about it. I can't even begin to think which option I'd choose.
先輩。
Senpai has her back turned to me. Unsure of her intentions, I call out to her foreboding figure. Senpai lets out a chuckle and turns around with a self-deprecating smile on her face.
なんて、ちょっとした退屈しのぎでした。突然遠野くんに意地悪したくなったのです。
Of course.
昨夜そういう内容のホラー映画を借りてしまって、あんまりにも真に迫っていたので、遠野くんにもホラーを分けてあげようかなと。
そうですか。突然意地が悪くなったことはどうかと思いますけど、その映画自体は面白そうですね。二重構造でよくできています。タイトルを教えてくれれば、俺も借りてみますよ。
ええ、この事件が片付いたら、ぜひ。
We were talking long enough that we've now almost finished the investigation. We arrive on the third and final floor, where we can catch glimpses of the sky through holes in the crumbling roof. There.
おっと、この部屋で最後ですね。残念。いえ、幸いなことに使徒の痕跡はなし。今回は完全に外れでした。
Senpai's voice sounds a little more cheerful than it did before. She's probably relaxed a little now that she's completed her investigation and concluded that there's nothing dangerous here. I should go back now that the matter is settled. Want to go back now that the matter is settled. Can go back now that the matter is settled. Do these have any difference? Well, let's save, of course. So I guess the first part, is like what's important here. Should go back, want to go back, can go back. I mean, Ciel said herself that there's nothing dangerous here. So I guess we can?
そっか。なら戻りましょう、先輩。さすがに疲れました。昼間とはいえ、廃病院っていうのも気持ちが悪いし。
おや、あの地下広場でも音を上げなかった遠野くんらしくありませんね。
あのですね、あそこまでぶっ飛んでるともう驚きしかないんです。一方、廃病院は立派な都市階段ですから、短すぎてこっちの方が怖いです。
なるほど、そういうことなら夜についてきてもらえばよかったですね。遠野くんの怖がる顔見るチャンスだったのに。
Senpai says something terrifying. It seems like she's still in a teasing mode. Even so, there's no denying that we're done here. Senpai agrees to my suggestion, and we quickly leave the abandoned hospital. I'm struck by the same thought I had on the way in. The sky out here really is vast and spotlessly clear. Okay, that was kind of uneventful for all that build-up, but okay. By the time we make it back to Soya Station, it's already after 3 o'clock. I've ended up completely skipping afternoon classes. Even if I head back now, I won't make it back before final period is over, but I should at least go back and pick up my bag. Someone's hungry. How pathetic. Tormented by the fact that I skipped lunch, my stomach rumbles to signal its emptiness.
ふむ。空腹ですか、遠野くん。
恥ずかしながら、購買部に行く途中で先輩を見かけたから昼抜きなんです。
ご飯食べていきます？ちょうどこの辺りにいいお店があるんですよ。
That sounds fun. I'm dumbfounded by my sudden good luck. Getting lunch at a restaurant means I'll be dining with Senpai. Talk about an unexpected windfall. Even if this is somehow a trap, I'll happily dive in head first. Or at least I want to, but...
いえ、あまりお腹は減ってませんから。
That's a lie. Ever since yesterday, I've had a ravenous appetite. But sadly, I don't have the means to eat out this month. Senpai said that it was a great place, so it could be one of those fancy restaurants with eye-popping prices. Though, it breaks my heart. I must decline her offer.
まあまあそう言わずに、一食ぐらいでしたらおごっちゃいますから。
There you go.
先輩らしく、手伝ってくれた後輩へのお礼をさせてください。
It seems like Senpai saw right through me. Guess it's time for me to swallow my pride. Besides, how am I supposed to say no to that wonderful smile of hers?
すみません。実はお腹が減って倒れそうでした。お願いですから、その素敵なお店に連れて行ってください。
I give in and prostrate myself before Ciel Senpai.
はい、素直な返事で大変結構です。それでは可愛い後輩のため、張り切って一肌脱ぎましょう。
Perhaps pleased by my open reliance on her, Senpai briskly sets off toward the business district. There's a block over there with a bunch of small shops crammed into it. Maybe she really is taking me to some famous hole in the wall. Whoa, this place looks extravagant. It's a curry shop, of course. It's a curry shop. Of course it is. I'll say it one more time. This is, without a doubt, an authentic Indian curry shop.
おっと残念。 ランチタイムは終わってしまいましたか。スパイシーチキンはつきませんね。
This music? Hold on, that's kind of a banger. Ciel senpai frowns, looking thoroughly disappointed.
はい、どうぞ遠野くん。
She hands me a loyalty card. The numerous stamps have reached the amazing order any curry set for free mark.
はい。
I understand what she means by this, but I still ask out loud just to be sure.
カレーセット無料券です。どうぞ好きなセットを頼んでください。私のおすすめはバターチキンカレーです。辛ければいいというものでもありませんし、遠野くんは初心者ですし。
だよね。そういうことだよね。
Pretending not to notice how senpai's fingers gravitate toward the 10 times spice set as I open the menu, I nod and confirm my order of the buttered chicken set with the waiter. To my surprise, all senpai orders is a single chai tea.
先輩、飲み物だけでいいんですか？もっとこう、ほら。
Now that we've come this far, I feel like I have to act out the old cliché.
いえ、私はお昼はちゃんといただきましたので、夕食前だし、今食べてしまうと1日4食になっちゃいます。
In other words, she's restraining herself and adhering to the average caloric intake of an ordinary high school girl. Ooh, that looks good. The butter chicken was absolutely sublime. The curry sauce struck an exquisite balance between spiciness and sweetness, perhaps thanks to the butter. The naan was piping hot and soft, and simply biting into the dough made the umami permeate throughout my mouth. This restaurant is a gem. Curry Shop Mezian. I'll have to remember that name. I'll tell Arihiko about it too. Except, as incredible as the food tastes, I can't give it the attention it deserves. Senpai is staring intently at the curry. She's like one of those aesthetic monks meditating on top of a bed of nails. I can't savor the curry I've just scooped up with my spoon in peace while her eyes are boring into me like that.
先輩、ちょっと食べます？
Trying to tempt her, I half-jokingly point the spoon in her direction. If Senpai wants some, I'll dish a bit onto one of the side plate.
はい、ちょっとだけなら。
Jeez. With childish glee, Ciel senpai wolfs down the curry that was on the spoon. It happened in the blink of an eye.
いえ、スプーンじゃなくて小皿に分けるという意味だったんですが。
ごめんなさい。つい釣られちゃって。
Yeah, I've landed a big catch alright. Senpai is curled up in embarrassment. As far as I'm concerned, she doesn't have anything to apologize for. I got to enjoy a delightfully rare sight after all.
失礼しました。小皿に分けるなんて全くの想定外だったので。
先輩の中でどんだけ心が狭いんですか、俺は。はい、どうぞ。何も1枚食べてください。
I dish out some of the sauce onto one of the side plates, then help myself to another spoonful of what remains.
遠慮しないで食べてください。もともと先輩の日々の努力の成果なんですから。完食については考えない方向で。
はあ、そういうことではないのですが。
Senpai takes a spoon from the basket and begins to timidly eat the buttered chicken curry. Just look at that expression. When I see how happily she's smiling after only a single bite, I'm half tempted to order seconds. I feel like I could put away any number of bowls if it means I can keep looking at this smile. How sweet. Definitely a vast difference between the senpai of now than before. You know, just a couple of minutes ago. We finished our meal. Senpai and I are still lounging around inside the restaurant, enjoying some free tea that the manager served us. They really seem to value their regulars. We've been making idle small talk about things that happened at school, when all of a sudden Senpai sits up straight.
いい機会だから聞かせてください。どうして遠野くんはこの事件に関わるんですか？あんな目にあったのに怖くないんですか？それとも、使徒を殺せる異能があるから怖くないとか。
She gets right to the point.
いえ、怖いですよ。銃を持てば戦争は怖くなくなるなんて話は聞いたこともないし、自分にどんな武器があっても怖いものは怖いです。逃げられるものなら逃げてしまいたい。
Those are my unvarnished feelings. I'd say I'm even more cowardly than an average person because I'm stuck seeing death all the time.
本当は逃げたいんですね。でも、ならどうして？
どうしてって、そんなの。
Because I want the city to stay peaceful. Because I want to lay the souls of the victims to rest. Because I want to protect those close to me. All of these thoughts have crossed my mind, but none of them are the real reason why. I refuse to run away because I remember what I saw on that night.
そんなの決まってます。先輩が頑張っているからです。
With respect and gratitude in my voice, I reply as if the answer were the most obvious thing in the world. On that night, she fought all alone inside that glacial world when anyone else would have fled. Not for her own sake, but in order to protect people she'd never even met. While I only tried to save my own skin, she risked her life and limb to protect everything that stood behind her. That's right. That image is so precious to me that it plays across my mind even when I'm falling asleep. Captivated as I was by her vigor, I couldn't help but weep at the tragic figure she cut as she dashed about with tears in her eyes. That's why I wanted to remember it. Even if I'm nowhere near as strong as she is, I want to forever remember that courage which has gone unappreciated for so long. That will be my way of saying thank you.
私が頑張っているからですか？
はい。人知れず戦ってくれている人がいるんだから、こっちだって簡単には逃げ出せません。というか、そもそも。
She saved me. If Senpai hadn't reached out to me on that day I killed Arcueid, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
そもそも、先輩がブローブを倒してくれなかったら、みんな死んでいたんだし。俺がやってることは、単に先輩への恩返しみたいなものです。
I couldn't bring myself to tell her the real reason after all. It just felt too embarrassing. Nevertheless, it seems like my feelings of gratitude got across.
でも、先輩の足手まといになってるのは変わりませんね。相手はもう死んでいる。相入れない敵だって分かっているのに、割り切れない。
If my opponent in a fight looks human, and is more or less as intelligent as one, it's enough to make my mind lock up completely. I have to harden my heart. I can't let myself be this conflicted when I come face to face with a vampire.
怖い怖い言ってられませんね。先輩の役に立ちたいんなら、もっと強い心を持たないと。
いえ、それを直すなんてとんでもない。それは良くない勘違いです。
先輩？
失礼しました。でもそこはぜひそのままで。弱くても私はそんな遠野くんがいいです。いちいち迷ってしまう人だから私も守りたいと思うんです。
Shoot. I'm so embarrassed and happy that I can't look her in the eye. Senpai is stirring her tea with her spoon, loudly clanking it against the side of the cup as though she's also trying to distract from the situation. 5 minutes pass in the blink of an eye, and our tea goes completely cold. Unable to bear it any longer, I desperately try and think of something to talk about.
そうだ先輩。先輩はすごく強いけど、格闘技とかやってるんですか？ ほら武器もいっぱい持ってたし。
Ugh, was that seriously the best I could come up with?
格闘技とは言えませんが、基本的なサバイバル技術は教え込まれました。あとは対吸血鬼専門の対処法をいくつか習得したぐらいです。
The fucking people working here hearing them talk is like, what the fuck? Anti-vampire techniques? Vampires? What are you talking about?
骨剣も結界も秘跡もそれなりに使えると思います。
そうなんだ。俺は見ることしかできないけど、先輩はやっぱり色々できるんだね。
I try and laugh it off like an idiot. But, for some reason, it feels like the atmosphere has changed slightly.
見るだけですか。私もまだ詳しい説明を聞いてはいませんでした。遠野くんはグローブの腕を切断していましたが、あれはどういったものなんでしょう。
Here we go. We're gonna have to explain the lines of death to her.
どういった
Or at least that we have them. I could easily just show her, but I don't want to take my glasses off here and see Senpai's death. I briefly tell her about my eyes and the lines.
直視の魔眼、死の概念を捉える魔眼なんて。
そんなに珍しいんですかこれ。先輩の方が何倍もすごかったけど。
珍しいとか強いとかそういった次元の話ではありません。これは魔術と魔法の関係に近いです。私の国権や武装は言ってしまえば確かに超常のものではあるが、今の技術でも到達できる物理現象です。戦闘機や空母を個人で保有できる人物とそう大差はありません。一方、あなたの魔眼はどうあっても今の技術では到達できない現象です。死に向かうのではなく死を形にするなんて、それこそ人の手に余ります。厳密に言えば人間はまだ死を知らない、まだ誰も見ていないものをあなたは見ているようなものです。
So what she's saying is, those eyes are definitely something special. Very cool ability. Senpai just said something strange. How could humans not know what death is? After all, death permeates the entire world.
人間は誰だって死にます。みんな生きているうちは経験こそしないけど、死はやってくるんじゃないんですか。
それは生命活動の停止に過ぎません。人間という装置が活動できなくなっただけの結果を私たちは死と呼んでいるだけです。人間が死んでも失われるものは何もありません。ミクロの視点で見れば素粒子は失われていませんし、マクロの視点で見ても個人が死んだところで星に損失はありませんから。でもあなたの目が見ているものは違います。過程を飛ばして物事を終わらせるのなら、それはエネルギー保存則に頼らない究極の意味での死です。ある司祭からの受け売りですが、死とはこの宇宙に未だないもの。あると想定することで多くの事象を説明できるけれど、実在してはいけないものとされています。
So they're like really introducing a whole new meaning of it. Like on a human level, death is something that just happens, but like here, it's like a unique phenomenon. Interesting. I solemnly nod as though this all makes perfect sense. Senpai just stares at me mercilessly.
ごめんなさい。全然わかりません。もう少しレベルを下げて教えてください。
つまり空想上のものです。ファンタジーですね。ありきたりのものどころかどこにもないものってことです。まあレアケースなのは確かですが、神話にはそういった魔眼の伝承があるので、過去に何人かのホルダーはいたんでしょうけど。
Would any of those myths refer to a person known as Shiki Ryogi? Just curious.
でも その目ならグローブを切断したのもうなずけますね。てっきりあのナイフが特別なものだと勘違いしていました。それでその目は遺伝ですか？遠野くんのお父様もそういった目を持っていたとか。
いえ、違いますよ。親父は普通というか、うちにこんな目を持ったやつはいません。異常なのは俺だけです。子供の頃事故に遭ったって言いましたよね。その後遺症なんです、こ
れ。後遺症？生まれついてのものではないということですか？
はい。線が見えるようになったのは7年前からですし。
Senpai stares at me for a while, then gasps and stands up.
私、勘違いをしていたっぽいです。調べ物ができたので、今日はこれで。
What just came over her? Before I can even think of stopping her, Senpai grabs the receipts, settles our tab, and leaves the curry shop. And then comes right back in again.
大切なことを言い忘れてました。遠野くん、ちょっと立ってください。
I obediently get up off my chair. Senpai examines me from head to toe.
私はこれで帰りますが、くれぐれも夜は出歩かないように。その目があるからって一人で吸血鬼を探したりしちゃダメですからね。
I involuntarily let slip my hesitation. Not going out at night would mean breaking my promise with arcueid.
遠野くん？
あ、いや、わかった。わかりました。一人で吸血鬼探しなんてしない。
Alone. We won't go out searching for vampires alone.
よかった。約束ですよ。
So that has, or that should have next to no effect on our deal with arcueid. Right? Senpai smiles in satisfaction and heads for the exit. For real this time.
あ、待って先輩。今ので一つ気になることを思い出しちゃって。吸血鬼って不死身なんですよね。なら風邪とかもひきませんか？
ありえませんね。呪いならともかく人間でいう風邪をひくなんてナンセンスです。死者に免疫機能はありませんから。
だよな。なら神祖ってやつも同じ。
神祖に至ってはありえないというよりあってはならないです。彼らの免疫機能を活発化させるウイルスなんて下手したら人類絶滅クラスです。
I guess so.
ところでなんでそんな話を？
いや、なんでもないのです。それじゃあ先輩、また明日学校で。
If I ask any more questions, I risk stirring up the hornet's nest. So I just wave goodbye to Senpai.
また明日。はい、また明日ですね。それではごきげんよう、遠野くん。
Senpai takes off, her shoes clattering as she disappears. Now then, a lot's happened, but I better head back to school too. I need to pick up my bag, then make it home to the mansion before the sun sets.